Welcome back to Live at 9. Of course, it's Wellness Wednesday, and as we get closer to the peak of hurricane season, we should remember that there are a lot of things that we can do before a storm gets here just to keep ourselves protected. And today we have Dr. Quinn to help break down what we can do medically to prepare for a disaster. Good morning, Dr. Quinn.
Good morning.
So from a medical perspective, what are some things that we can do to prepare for a hurricane?
Before we even start this interview, let's take a moment to remember all the people that lost their lives during Hurricane Katrina, which was approximately 20 years ago. And we hope that the information we provide today will empower our viewers so that we can make better decisions to put ourselves in the best possible position in the event that we have a hurricane. As you said, we're in the peak of hurricane season. Those decisions can be the difference between life and death.
Right. Absolutely, Dr. Quinn. Super crucial to remember really bad storms and to prevent from any other loss of life and things happening. We talk about the prep from the weather side of things when it comes to the basics, but as far as diving deeper into the medical needs of people, what are some of those things we can do to prepare?
Well, what I wanted to share was the fact that when Hurricane Katrina occurred 20 years ago, we had a lot of patients to come into our area from the Louisiana and the coast area. And the first thing that I want to remind is the fact that I remembered that some people had medical kits, and these were mostly sealed bags. Someone in their place of living where they were advised them to do this, and these medical kits had list of their medications, their medical conditions, their allergies, insurance information. And this was so helpful to me because you couldn't call the pharmacy and find out what medicine they took.
Right.
We were able to look at those medical lists and we were able to prescribe the correct medication, because in the end, if you have to evacuate very quickly, you might not remember your medications. But by having that list, the medical doctor that you see in the next place of safety will have the exact medication you're on with the exact doses, and they'll have an understanding of your history. But that insurance information was important as well, because we did see a lot of people for free because people didn't have their insurance information. But when they got to the pharmacy, the pharmacist wouldn't fill the medicine. So they were seen and they couldn't even get the medication.
Wow.
That's why it's so important you have all the information in that packet, including the insurance information, so you'll be in the safest position possible. Also wanted to note that individuals, if we are on chronic medical medications, we need to contact our pharmacy if there's any threat of a hurricane to try to get at least a 2-week supply of medicine in the event that the hurricane makes it so we can't go to the pharmacy to pick up our medicine, so we won't run out. And, you know, just make sure that if we have medicine that needs to be cooled. I actually had a conversation with a pharmacist on yesterday, and he said that they've been trained to educate patients on how to cool the medicine with coolers with ice, changing the ice at certain frequencies to keep the medicine as viable as possible so that people can have the highest level of safety.
That's really important, Dr. Quinn. So when you're talking about these evacuation plans and preparing you and your family for the potential impact of a hurricane or a tropical storm, one of the best things you can remember is to pack that medical, your insurance, but also those medicines that are life or death, and make sure you have all the important information you have before you leave. And real quick, what about after the storm? Is there anything specifically to keep in mind?
Most definitely. You don't want to go out before all clear has been articulated by the authorities.
Right.
Because sometimes when a storm comes, as you know, as an expert, other storms can follow very quickly. And if you just leave the house and then you go out, then something could blow with another following storm, and you could lose your life or put yourself and your family in danger. And also stay away from standing water, because that water could contain life that could be very dangerous, like a snake or a rat. You could get bit and get rabies. And lastly, fallen power lines. That's a very big cause of people being injured after a storm. They go around and they might touch the standing water and they might have electricity with a fallen power line, or they might brush against something. So we hope that these tips will help our viewers become as empowered as possible to be as safe as possible.